All right, thank you. I'd like to call to order the Thursday, November 9th, 2017 Watertown City Planning Commission meeting. Brandy, can I get a roll call, please?
Kays.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Dolly.
Here.
Culhane.
Here.
Stein.
Here.
And Olson is absent.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Kays, second by Stein. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Second item on the agenda is the approval of the 9/21/17 minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Culhane, second by Hanson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Third item on the agenda is the approval of the 10/5/17 minutes. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Motion by Stein, second by Culhane. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes. Fourth item on the agenda is the approval of the Plan Commission meeting schedule and submittal deadlines for the calendar year 2018. Brandy, did you want to go through those?
Yep, this is the meeting schedule that I sent out probably about a month ago now since we've met. And so if we can just get a approval first, or a motion and a second, then we'll get these dates tacked down for 2018.
And these are in line with what we've done in the past, based on city council
Yep.
meeting times.
Yep,
Okay.
so keeping the city council, we always follow the city council meetings on the Monday, and then we're the Thursday at 4:15.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Kays, second by Culhane. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Fifth item on the agenda is the rezone of a portion of Block 75. Brandy, if you want to go through that.
Yep, so the background to this rezone proposal is Jeffrey and Amy McGill submitted the application and petition on October 6, 2017, requesting approval for rezoning the current described property from I-1 Light Industrial District to R3 Multifamily Residential District. Because the property's use is used as a single-family residence, they would like to be able to pull a building permit for an addition to the house on the property, which is not possible under its current zoning, as a residential structure is not allowed in an industrial zone. After discussion amongst city staff, a letter was sent to the adjacent landowners in the same situation within Block 75, a third railway addition, notifying them the city would invite them to be included in the rezone of their residential structures to be brought into a residentially zoned district. The letter sent out is attached in the agenda packet. As far as adjacent zoning designations, the I-1 Light Industrial District is to the south and west of these half a block properties. I'll highlight them. And then C3 Highway Commercial District is across the highway to the east, and R3 Multifamily Residential District is to the north, which is what they are proposing to be rezoned to. And staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the application to rezone the described property. And as I passed out the amended petitions, or the completed petition more so, is that after we sent out the letters to the landowners, they all were in favor of it, so they came in and signed the petition, and then that is what is in front of you. And that is all of the highlighted properties shown here.
Thank you, Brandy. I'd like to open the public hearing on this issue. If anybody is here to speak on behalf or against, please approach the microphone and state your name. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any discussion?
Where exactly is this?
This, yep, so it's on, behind Casey's on 81, Hubbard Feed there, that is right here, and then Gray's Construction is over here. And Foxy's is on the corner.
Common point of reference. Just a little perspective. I mean, most of this property might have been zoned residential years ago. Probably it was all rezoned I-1 to reflect the property, existing I-1 development property. And I think at the time, some of those homes were just thought, well, maybe this would be an opportunity to expand I-1 into that area. At some point in time in the last 20, 25 years, I'm guessing that happened. Being that we're not seeing a real push for growth for industrial development in that section of Watertown anymore, maybe it makes more sense to allow those individuals to utilize their property, sell their property, add on to it, make improvements, which would have a better, longer lasting effect for the city. So I would move that we approve. And I believe this is well, since we're in the process of developing the land use plan, we would reflect that in the land use plan as well to support this.
In the highlighted area, is there anything other than residences?
No, those are all single-family dwellings.
And the R3 is the more appropriate zoning, being that we have R3 to the north. And if these lots were to be repurposed to multiple family as a natural transition off of the industrial and commercial, it's the appropriate zone.
And these properties, I mean, they'll be able to get a building permit. That's not saying that they won't have to come back to the Board of Adjustment for a conditional use or a variance, if for whatever they wanted to do. But at least it puts their single-family dwelling use back in a residentially zoned district.
Yeah, and as you said, Todd, I mean, typically we would use that as a buffer zone for these kind of areas anyway. Any other comments from the board? Have a motion from Todd.
Second.
Second, Culhane. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Could
passes.
I ask a quick question before we move on to the next agenda item? In looking at this, we see that property where Casey's is situated. The map shows that it's zoned I-1. Is that still is that the correct zoning classification for Casey's? I would entertain an idea that maybe we could take a look at adequately zoning that piece of property to maybe a C3 designation as opposed to an I-1. Again, because I think the C3 is probably more appropriate designation for a convenience store, a gas station than the I-1 zone. It makes more sense, especially now that we've got residential development immediately adjacent to the west. Just something that maybe you as staff would want to maybe investigate discussing with Casey's to see if that's something we'd want to be looking at doing down the road.
Right. And then too, where it would get rid of this little tooth piece of the I-1 and make it adjacent to what's across the highway. So
yeah. Just an idea.
Yeah, we'll look into that for sure. Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 6 on the agenda, rezone of a portion of Lot 2 of Airport Industrial Second Edition.
Okay, we'll get there on the map. All right, so the background with this rezone is the petitioner submitted an application and petition on October 10th requesting approval for rezoning the current described property from I-2 Heavy Industrial District to I-1 Light Industrial District for subdivision purposes. The adjacent zoning designations to the north, south, and east is I-2 Heavy Industrial District, which it is currently zoned, A-1 Agricultural District to the west, which is the airport, and then there is no adjacent I-1 light industrial zoning, which we do caution the spot zoning to point that out. The adjacent public right-of-ways will be included in the rezone. The current I-2 heavy industrial district is more restrictive than the I-1 light industrial district, or there's more options with it. And anything that's included in the I-1 light industrial zoning designation can be used in the I-2. The minimum required lot width for the I-1 district is 100 feet, while the I-2 is 300 feet. There is approximately 593 linear feet of frontage included in the proposed rezone. The minimum lot area for I-1 districts is 30,000 square feet, and for the I-2 district, it is 220,000 square feet. And approximately 148,000 square feet is being rezoned to be, or is proposed to be rezoned to be subdivided into 4 I-1 lots. Staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the application to rezone the described property. And the main purpose is just because the size requirements and the minimum lot area difference between I-1 and I-2.
Thank you, Brandy. I'd like to open the public hearing if anybody's here to speak on behalf or against.
I'm Gary Steinmetz. I own that property out there. If you can maybe take the purple off of that.
Yep, I can. I'm gonna just outline it there.
Okay. Basically, I've expanded my property from the north coming down, and I no longer use that property to the south there. It's grassland, mow it, kill weeds, do nothing with it. I don't have any intentions of expanding my business any farther to the south, and that's my reasoning for the rezone on that. I'd like to basically plot it into 4 lots and sell them, similar to what you see behind Watertown Ford out there, so someone can put up shops or do whatever they want to do. And like she had stated before with the I-2 zoning, I couldn't even sell that piece off because it would not meet the minimum requirements of that size. So even if I wanted to sell it as one parcel, I couldn't. So this just gives me the liberty to do that.
Is there,
Is there a development plan in place or a preliminary idea, or are you just looking at selling it and then whoever buys it come back to the city?
I don't want to do that because the way the lay of the land is, I mean, I actually have drainage coming down through the center, so I've already talked to Thomson Engineering. I have to have a drainage easement in place, and the way the lay of the land is, let's just say I sold something to the right-hand side that's higher up, and it would ruin the next guy's property. So my plan is to get Clausen in there, get it flattened out decently, put sewer and water. I got the sewer easement is to the right hand on that angle. There's actually an easement going down that the sewer from the National Guard comes through there. So I would probably run sewer either in the ditch on 14th or to the north there, whatever seems the best deal, and not even stub it into the lots, but so people would have sewer and water if they so chose.
Shane, there's capacity in the line to accommodate 4 industrial development lots in that area?
yes, if they're not high water use, it would, I doubt any packing plant type facilities would go in there, but, if our typical I-1 business showed up in town, there should be no problem.
Okay.
The access to these properties would be that
14th Avenue.
What's the status of 14th Avenue? I haven't driven on that road. Is it?
That road is paved all the way up to the armory there. So that happened, I'm guessing, 6 years ago. And which obviously we paid for part of that.
Is that the only way into that property is from 14th Avenue if we subdivide it into 4 lots?
Yes, that would be my plan because obviously, I don't know if you've been by my place, but there's houses sitting there.
On the north side, yeah.
Right. So, and I don't want anybody going through my lot, obviously, to get to their property, so it would be total frontage to the south.
One more question for an engineering standpoint. Is there any concerns of placing 4 industrial type buildings with the existing traffic flow without some sort of a turnaround or?
Most of the time, the traffic would be ending at whichever lot they were turning into, so they'd probably be doing most of their turning movements on their premise.
Okay.
So from that standpoint, I'd say no, and it wouldn't change anything from what's existing out there
Right.
today. I would say that that is a paved surface, but there is no curb and gutter and there is no storm sewer, so we would probably incorporate with the 4 lots when they come forward. Probably have a waiver of right to protest those type of public improvements if they're deemed necessary for this road. So we would accommodate or make sure that we accommodate for those future improvements.
And I understand that that's not part of this request, but it's something we probably need to.
That would come subsequently to this action, yes.
So procedurally, once these go to be subdivided, it would come back before the board?
Yes, if he plats it into four parcels, then that would also come to the board. And one of the things that I've been visiting with Mr. Steinmetz about is, he's indicated that his drainage comes through there and that we would have to not only accommodate that drainage, but also now maybe have to, we'll have to build some type of storm treatment facility, and he's aware of that, and he's grooming the plans accordingly, because originally he had 5 lots that he was thinking he could get out of that spot, so now he's pared it down to 4, so he's already got a game plan in motion, I think.
And Brandy, you said any use in the I-1 would be an allowable use in the I-2?
Yes.
And at this point in time, putting it into the 4 lots and not stubbing the sewer and water into each lot. If someone came in and said, I want 2 of them, or I want all 4 of them, so be it.
Right.
That's kind of my intent on that.
Yeah.
But I want to make it user-friendly before I even sell it, and that's why I'm here.
Any additional questions? Any more comments from the public? Thank you. I'd like to close the public hearing then and look for a motion from the board. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Is there any new business?
No.
No new business?
Nope.
Old business?
Nope.
Executive session?
Nope.
All right, look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned.
Thank you.